Hello guys, this is CZ from Binance. This is actually the first time using a live stream, so I see a couple guys joined. Okay, looks like it's working. Let me just check very quickly. Hello. Okay, looks like it is working. I can see myself. All right, so I'm gonna jump straight into those questions now. So it is actually the first time doing a live streaming. I actually said I was gonna do a live stream about a year ago, so I'm happy to be able to finally deliver. Let's see. Let's jump into the questions. I think my teams have already done the hard work of organizing some of the questions for me, so I'll just go straight into it. And if you have any questions, I can also, after I go through these questions, I can try to answer some of the ones on the live stream. And I think Periscope has a way to make, to bring somebody in, but I don't know how to use it. It's too advanced. Let me see. All right. So the first question, I think the first few questions are actually from Crypto's Batman. He's one of my good friends on Twitter now. He follows us very closely. He asked some really in-depth questions. So I'm gonna go through his question. He has 7 questions. I'm gonna go through his questions first. So how many validator nodes will Binance Chain run? I think for the testnet right now, we elected to run 11 test nodes. I think any number is fine. The number of validators in our network will be small, mainly for performance reasons. So you will not be as big as a Bitcoin network with thousands of nodes. It's going to be more like Neo or even Ripple, a smaller number of nodes, and each node will be rather large. What's the requirement performance for running a node? So you can run a node yourself. I'm not sure if this is a technical requirement or a business requirement. So technically, you can run a node yourself. You do need a relatively heavy machine. I don't know what exactly the specs are, but that depends a little bit on trading volume and traffic. We generate 1 block every second, so it is a large. You're gonna require a large disk. How much of Binance Chain collects gas goes to the node and stakers? So right now, all of the gas and fees collected by the node are kept by the node. So right now, we're just launching Binance Chain with a very simple business model. Basically, it's very simple. Our main goal is to get the Binance DEX up and running as quickly as possible. My philosophy is always get the thing working, make sure everybody uses it, and then adjust the business model. So initially, all of them will go to the nodes. How much of Binance? Okay, so that's that. How much of Binance Chain DEX goes? So that's also that. So why did we choose Cosmos? I think basically Cosmos had the closest thing we were looking for. They had a solid product. The Cosmos architecture was closest to what we wanted. What we did is we took Cosmos and we took Tendermint really, and we made a fork out of it. So we didn't use the standard SDK. So we forked it and chopped a lot of things out. And so in the Binance Chain, there's no smart contract. You just have we just have an interface for you to issue a token, and then you can trade it. So we took Binance Chain is a very simple chain in terms of application, but it can handle very large loads. So it is our opinion that the load is more important than the features. How to apply to be a Binance Chain beta tester? So very soon, in probably about a week or so, I've been saying this for more. Last time I said 2 weeks, about 4 weeks ago. But very soon, we're going to open the Binance Chain beta testing to the public. So very soon, I don't think you have to apply anymore. How to get early access to DEX? Okay. So basically, we have given a few of our selected partners access to our DEX. Most of them are either wallet developers or blockchain explorers. Basically, guys who have some tool that we're integrating with. So we went earlier with those guys because we need those guys to develop and support us. So, but very soon we're gonna open the beta in about a week or so, I would guess. But again, don't quote me on that. So let's see the next one. Will sub accounts get early access to DEX? This is from Green Surgeon. So I guess by sub account you mean the corporate VIP accounts that have sub account features. Right. Basically, the testnet is going to be out in about a week. So the testnet also supports API access. So I think most of the sub account users access the account us via API. So it'd be a very similar way to access the Binance DEX. So from Jason Kwok, SV, you said million projects can be issued through Binance Chain. What is the expected TPS? So I did say on various occasions that we expect, I expect in the future there will be millions of tokens and probably thousands of blockchains. The current TPS on our DEX is a couple thousand, and we can actually scale that up if we want to. But right now, basically, the Binance DEX, the decentralized exchange, can handle our existing Binance.com volume. So we designed a DEX so that you can handle the capacity on the centralized exchange. And my guess is it's going to be okay for a little while, and we can scale that horizontally if we want to in terms of volume. So that's that. How much will be the listing fee on DEX? This is from MarJ15773748. So there will be a listing fee on DEX. I actually deliberately want to set that a little bit high, just so that we want to make it. We want to reduce the number of spam or scam projects. So, and there's also a voting process by the validators to be listed on the DEX. So there's a fee. I think the fee will be probably close to 100K US. So we'll see. But the fee is adjustable over time. So it's quite easy to change. How to become a validator from Lucas Badowski. I think like US, I think we're looking for guys who can run very fast validators and that can protect the validators from DDoS attacks and other things. So we are initially more of the nodes will be selected through our close partners, but over time we will increase the number of nodes, validator nodes. So I actually don't really know the answer to that one, to be honest. We're still figuring it out. We will have some requirements. But right now, our goal is just to get the chain launched. Can we store BNB on Ledger Nano S? This is from Dr. Jacob. Yes, for sure. So the Ledger Nano S will support Binance Chain, and you can store the native coin, Binance Coin, on the Ledger Nano S. Show the proof of your DEX is truly decentralized. From GG13517. Okay. I mean, basically, this is a pretty simple thing. If you use a hardware wallet and connect with the Binance Chain, you know that your private keys will never leave your device. And we'll have multiple other ways to prove that even from other devices or from other clients, your private key never leave your device. So from that perspective, it is decentralized. You're guaranteed to know that you're the only one holding your private keys. Do we have a lot of influence over the network and the validators? Yes, we do. So initially, we want the chain to be more centralized in that way. So it's, compared to other networks, it will be a little bit more. We'll have a little bit more influence. But I think it's important for us to maintain that influence in the early stages. And as time goes on, we're gonna more and more validators are gonna join, and our influence will decrease. So you use Cosmos Tech for DEX interchain operability. So this is from Galaxy BTC. So we haven't really decided on interchain operability. Initially, in the first version, we're just gonna focus Binance DEX to run a decentralized exchange by itself first. So we will worry about interchain, cross-chain features later. So that's probably in version 2 or version 3. But because we are using a version of Cosmos and Tendermint, if they have those features, those are the most natural things for us to learn from. So next question. What utility will BNB have on the Binance chain or DEX? From InvestPal. So very simple. Binance coin on the Binance chain is the same as Ethereum coin on the Ethereum network. So you will have to use it to pay for network transactions as gas. And also in most areas, when you pay with a Binance coin, we do offer the option of paying in the token on the chain. So if you issue a token on Binance chain, there are places where you can pay in the token that you issue. But in those cases, if you pay with a Binance coin, you almost always get a discount, very similar to the centralized to how Binance.com works. Next question. So, will the DEX be available for all OS, Windows, Linux, Macs, iOS, and will DEX work with Trezor and KeepKey? This is from Billy Valentin. The DEX will be available on all platforms, or basically in most platforms, you will be able to access either the DEX or the client UI via web browser. And in terms of hardware wallets, we have already integrated with Ledger Nano S, and we're working on the Ledger Nano X version as well. I think the Trezor and KeepKey versions will come a little bit later. Because those are a little bit more work to integrate. So, but hopefully we will be able to support all the hardware wallets as soon as possible. Next question. How motivated are you to reach out to other blockchain teams in order to merge your strengths with their strengths? For instance, cross-chain interoperability is really important for merchants in our crypto community. So we'd like to see more cross-chain cooperation too. This is from Brian EXNR. Okay, so I think Binance is probably in one of the strongest or the best positions to work with other projects or blockchain teams, because in most cases we already have relationships with the other project teams, and almost I don't want to brag, but almost any project that we reach out to will likely want to work with us. So, but in the early stages, we want to get the Binance chain up and running first. So again, I think this is more of a second step, because that involves cooperating with teams where the two teams have to work together. So we'll see. How many BNB for a node, and what would the rewards be? This is from Evil Knife Monkey. Again, I think I answered that question before. Right now, the nodes get all the rewards for processing the transactions. We don't have a fixed structure or fee for a node or whatever yet. We'll figure that out later. What consensus algorithm will be used on the coming Binance chain, and when is the ETA? So the consensus algorithm eventually will be DPoS in the future. So it will be DPoS plus Tendermint's PBBFT. Is a variant to that, very similar to Cosmos. So it's basically that. So the next question. Hey CZ, what are going to be the full technical requirements for manually integrating coin into the upcoming Binance DEX? Will the DEX have API and other tools in place to make it possible to integrate into other platforms? This is from Practical Project. Please check with our tech doc. It's hosted in the same place as the FAQ. I think the integration documents are pretty clear already. So if you look at that, it should be pretty clear. So the next question from Delphi88. Does Binance DEX support OTC and derivative private transactions? So the DEX doesn't really support OTC. OTC by its means off the chain or off over the counter. So, but Binance do have a OTC desk if you want to use that. So also regarding private transactions, right now Binance DEX works very similar to Bitcoin. So most transactions are transparent. There's no hidden transactions or private transactions. Yeah, I think that's most of the questions I collected from the DEX. So I'm going to go into some of the more general questions from Twitter. Can Binance survive another year of bear from Mount Crypto? I think basically Binance is ready to survive any number of years, no matter if it's bear or bull. So I think we basically don't really look at the market too much, as much as people actually think we do. We just keep our head down and build features. Binance is very healthy financially and also very stable in terms of team. So I think we'll be ready. Well, I think our aim is much longer than another year. Our aim is 10, 50, 100 years. So we'll be here for a while. The next question from Olawale. Can you bring fiat pairs to Nigeria, just like Binance, Uganda? We trade crypto more than any other country in Africa. So yes, absolutely. We definitely want to bring crypto or fiat pairs to more countries in Africa and around the world. And we are working on that. We have a small team, so we have limited capacity. So we're working through the countries one by one. So we'll see how that goes. What made you enter crypto, and what advice you have for those who are not in cryptos? So once I learned how crypto works, how Bitcoin works, back in 2013, I just know that's the future. So for me, it's a very easy decision. So you pick the industry first, and then you pick basically you pick the industry and then you pick a boss. So I worked in a few different crypto companies first, and then in 2017 we decided I had a team that had a very good matching engine, and we decided to do an exchange, and that became Binance. So for those who are not in crypto yet, I think the best advice I can give is basically learn about it first. Once you learn about it, then you can decide whether crypto is for you or not. So that's my best advice. That's from a MillionGems02. Are there any plans to extend the trading interface with essential functions? I'm thinking of order type, OCO, trailing stops, or placeable orders on the chart, etc. Many useful things are missing. This is from Mario Theos. Yes, so we are still working on a lot of new features for Binance.com. A lot of features are missing. Once you have a product running, it's never done. So OCO is a feature that's requested very heavily from many of our users. So we are working on that. And we want to support OCOs natively in the engine, in the matching engine. So it's almost guaranteed OCOs. So it's going to take a little bit more time to implement, but our guys are working on it. The same thing as trailing stops and also visible orders on the chart. All of those features we are aware of, but it just takes time. So please bear with us. We're working on them. So the next question is from Flamsy Marshall. Dear CZ, what inspired your crypto dreams? What innovations did you had while putting down the white paper for Binance project? And above all, with the current achievements and success so far, what few words do you have for upcoming crypto entrepreneurs? I think what inspired me to crypto dreams, I think once I learned about crypto, how Bitcoin worked, I just understood that's the future. So, and I think it's the freedom that crypto offers that really attracted me. I'm a guy who's lived in multiple countries around the world, even at a very young age. So the concept of a country or border is more virtual to me. And when you're traveling between different countries, you know the difficulties with traditional fiat currency. Like for example, if I have my money in one country and I move to a different country and try to pay, it's really awkward. The system doesn't work really well. So that's how I got into crypto. I think with the achievement success so far, I think for Binance, our achievements and success so far are just, I hope, are just at the beginning. So I don't view Binance as hugely successful. I think as an industry and as a company or as a team, we're still very small and we're still very young. So there's still a lot of work to do. For other upcoming crypto entrepreneurs, I would say just look. There's a lot of random noise in the crypto industry and outside of the crypto industry about us. The best advice I can give is basically keep your head down, figure out which product to build. Figure out your strength, and use your strength to build a product that other people would use. And as long as other people use your product, then your product have utility value. And just keep your head down, keep adding value, and that's the best advice I can give. And ignore all the other noise. So next question from Luis254 blah blah blah. Okay, so in the future, do Binance plan to allow margin trading and short in the platform? It's understandable if DEX cannot be done because of coins could be stolen, but what about regular Binance? Yes, absolutely. In the future, we do plan to allow margin trading, but it may take a little while. I think our focus is getting the DEX up and running first. Actually, what's interesting is there's a new trend where people are actually doing margin using smart contracts. So this way, it's actually more transparent than traditional margin trading on centralized exchanges. So that's also coming. We're looking at that as well. So that's pretty interesting as well. But all those other features, we do plan to add to Binance.com. So the next question is Goldcoin, from Goldcoin CCY. What motivates CZ Binance? What is his why? Okay, that's an interesting question. So let me brag a little bit about that. I have some quirky theories behind it. I think for me personally, if you give me twice as much money, or if you take away half of my money, the real impact is marginal. There's very little difference. I think basically, I did take some thinking to figure out why do we want to do the things we want to do. So I think as human beings, we are genetically engineered to take care of ourselves first and then take care of others, help others. Because as a species, if we don't do that, then our species is probably not gonna last very long, or probably will not exist. And so I think at this stage, I can take care of myself in most fronts relatively well, and then I just want to do something that's meaningful and that's impactful. And the most meaningful thing is to be able to help some other people. And if I have stronger abilities, I can help more people. If I don't, then I just help a smaller number of people, or help them a little bit less, or just help them a little bit. So, but I think that's the goal in life. It's just to help people. And I think the thing that I can make the most impact on is to bring the crypto to the masses, to help adoption of cryptocurrency and to increase the freedom of money around the world. And I think that's the most useful thing I can do for me. So so I'm just gonna try my best, do my little bit, and see how that works. From Handle B320000809. Funds are safe. Yes, I think funds are quite safe. We use multiple layers of security at Binance. It's quite hard to penetrate all layers at the same time. And we have traps in the earlier layers that if you trigger something, we actually will be able to know. So that's a longer topic I will not get into right now. Where do you see Binance in the next 5 years? This is from Crypto Crider. We want Binance to be the infrastructure builders. So we want Binance to either build infrastructure ourselves or invest in other projects that build infrastructure. So basically, we want to be the guys building roads. If you use the sort of physical world as an analogy, so we want to be the guys building the roads, so that other people can build buildings in the city. So in terms of infrastructure, what does that mean? So that means exchanges, wallets, faster blockchains, more decentralized exchanges. So anything that has to do with core infrastructure, we want to build. So that's about all the questions I've collected so far. Let me see. So actually, there's a lot of text rolling here. So let me answer some of the questions I just see randomly on here. So Binance XRapid partners, I think again, we're focused on just launching more features right now. So we are working with a number of other partners. But XRapid, there's nothing going on right now, but in the future, we definitely want to add them as a partner. Okay, this is scrolling a bit too fast. Lots of similar questions. So hold on. When DEX? So DEX is going to come out in a couple weeks for the testnet. Crypto.com cards for all. So we do have a very close relationship with Crypto.com, and we're hoping that they already support Binance Coin in their ecosystem, and we're always looking for more closer work relationships. Let me see. Why is Ukraine forbidden to take part in ICO via Launchpad? So whenever a country is blocked from a feature that we offer, it's usually not our decision. So we never really want to block anybody. But sometimes we don't get to decide. Other things, there are other forces that decide for us. Well, Binance built, so from my Theo currency, well, Binance built physical cold storage banks with ATM withdrawals. No, I don't think we have that on the plan. Let me see. Cryptopia stolen funds. Well, we locked a few of those Cryptopia stolen funds. So that's that. From Charles 162 something. Buy Binance hoodie. So actually, we will have a guy who will be able to sell Binance hoodies on a small website very soon. So hopefully we can offer that. Do you believe Amazon will have their own stablecoin or crypto exchange? I think this is from Light Skin Gibson. I think again, anything is possible. So I tweeted about the fact that Amazon will have to issue a currency sooner or later. But that's just one of my guess. I'm not talking to anybody at Amazon. I don't know anything inside Amazon. So that's that. When RDD Redcoin. So for any listings, the only place is the listing form. So if you Google Binance listing tips, and you're gonna see an article I posted on LinkedIn. I think that explains all the things about listing. What's your relationship with Justin Sun? So I just know him as a friend. There's no other relationships with Justin Sun. There's no cross ownership. There's no investments anywhere. So what is the supply of Fetch? Actually, I don't have the total supply on top of my head. If you look at Binance Research, we issued a report with all the details. So that's probably the best place to look at that. Let me scroll to the bottom, get a new question. Are you gonna list anything new soon? From Night Hassle 1. Yes, so we are constantly reviewing listing applications. So, and I think there was an earlier question by somebody else, saying, what's our decision criteria for listing? Basically, we want to look for good projects. Every project is a little bit different. And, if you want to look for simple criteria, I'll give 2 tips. The more people who use your product, the better. So if you have a lot of users using your product already, then you have utility value. That's quite easy. But if you're before you launch a product, if you're just at the white paper stage, then it's a lot harder for us to evaluate. And we do evaluate very strictly. The other tip I would give is, I would recommend, resubmitting the application every, 2 weeks to 2 to 4 weeks. So every month or so. And also update your project's information on Binance Info. And if you show steady progress over time, that's a very good way for us to know that you're actively working on your project. So those are the 2 tips I'll give. Let me scroll to the bottom. Binance credit debit card. So we're not in the plan to offer Binance credit or debit card just yet. We're working with other third-party partners to enable those. So we're looking for partners in those areas. So from George Coin, what do you think about the Quadriga exchange exit scam? I don't really want to comment on other exchanges. Hold on, where did it go? But there's something fishy going on. I'll just say that much. Let me see what's going on here. Are you looking to fiat withdrawals also back to Visa or MasterCard? I don't know of an easy way to do that, to be honest. So right now, no. In the future, maybe. I think in the future, there's a number of solutions that offer you to spend your crypto directly from a credit or debit card. So there are already a number of solutions that works in a number of countries. I think basically that probably works like a withdrawal where you just spend your crypto directly. So we are working with a number of partners in those areas. Send me some crypto. Let me see. Okay, Workcoin is a good project. Hold on. Let's see. So when will Binance open our office in the US? So I think right now there's a lot of countries we're targeting, and hopefully sooner or later we'll have some presence in North America. How can we work for Binance from Canada? I think the Binance team is spread out all around the world, so we actually don't care too much where people are working from, as long as they pay their own taxes. They don't get into trouble locally. Other than that, we don't really care too much. Let me see. Anything else? Tell us about the Launchpad. I think Launchpad is pretty simple. It's basically an exchange initial sales platform where we help projects to raise money. And I do think Launchpad will play a fairly important role in the industry, because right now I think most people don't like ICOs too much because there's too many scams and too many fraud activities. But I think there's a lot of projects, or there's a lot of teams in the industry who are now vetting projects and analyzing projects. And we want Binance Launchpad to be a platform where we bring good projects to our users, so that we do the due diligence, and we select good projects. So I think, and I also think fundraising on the blockchain is one of the main applications for crypto. So, and I think that's very important for this industry to grow, is we gotta help entrepreneurs who build things in our industry. So that's the main goal of Launchpad, and we're gonna continue to push it. CZ, what was your first ever crypto trade from Crypto Fox? I actually don't trade crypto very much. I bought crypto in mid to late 2013, but it was like a OTC trade where I bought from a friend. So I actually don't trade very much. Let me see. Bitcoin ETF. So this is from Raj Duncan. Yeah, Bitcoin ETF is another just basket trading product. If it's listed on a big traditional exchange like CBOD or CBOT or CME, that does bring a lot of attention for people outside of our industry to trade on them. But I don't think ETFs are very core to our industry growth. With or without them, our industry will grow. I actually think that for our industry to grow, we need more entrepreneurs to build real projects. So I think that's the key. Could you introduce chat function inside Binance? We are actually thinking about that, but chatting is a large feature, so we have to see. What else? What's the noise in the background? There's a lawnmower somewhere out there in the background, so I apologize if you guys can hear the noise, but I can't really stop it. Oh, it stopped. Okay. Well, careful what you wish for. I love crypto. I invest. Okay, so this is from Thesis Ball. I invest in cryptocurrency, and I would like to design merchandise products for Binance. So there's a lot of demand for our merchandise, but at the end of the day, Binance is not a merchandise shop, so we're not like Under Armour or all those guys. We don't have the infrastructure or even the bandwidth to deal with shipping merchandise. So, but there's a guy who's gonna help us sell a few merchandise, and we're gonna sell them pretty much at cost, just covering shipping costs, raw material costs, and his personal costs, just so that he lives a comfortable life. And we want to get more of our merchandise out there in people's hands. But so far, that's something we don't do very well at. We're not very specialized in logistics, etc. Will you tokenize stocks pairs with crypto? Do you think this is the future of exchanges? I think tokenizing stocks and for crypto is involves a lot of regulatory exploration. That's probably not our strength. I think a number of other people are doing that. I do think it is a big market, and STOs, security tokens, etc. There's a few questions about that. So I think that's a big market that's gonna once people figure out what exactly we can or cannot do, we as the industry can or cannot do in the security token space. And again, the different regulations vary by different country. So you have to figure out what you can or cannot do in each different country. But I think there's a bigger market just tokenizing everything. So anything can be tokenized, and I think that's a bigger market. So we'll see how those industries develop. And from Andrew J10, I wish you would answer my damn question. Well, I didn't see your question, so sorry about that. I don't see your question anywhere. So I'm just scrolling through a number of questions to the bottom every time, and then when I see a question, I just answer them. I think I got about 10 more minutes. Hold on. In one corner you have Italic, and the other corner you have Justin. 5 years from now, who you got? I think basically the same guys in the crypto space will still be here. I think in 5 years from now, there'll just be a lot more people. And I think a lot of heavy players going to move into this industry. I think you guys saw Jack of Twitter is now actively engaging with the crypto Twitter community, and he obviously already have bought Bitcoin, so that's a good thing. And he's very public about it. And Stripe supports buying crypto, so that's also a very good thing. So I think you're going to see more and more people join. Let me see. Is crypto truly decentralized? From Light Skin Gibson. That's a very... So I think on decentralization, most people view that as a binary thing. Is it decentralized or not? But the reality is decentralization is a gradient scale. So there's a degree of decentralization that you can achieve. And some blockchains are more decentralized. Some blockchains are more centralized. So for any blockchain that has a clear development leader or team, they are more or less centralized in some way. So Binance chain is going to be a little bit more centralized initially in that way. Hopefully over time, what I say, what our team say will no longer matter, and we'll have a community behind it. But the same goes even for Ethereum today. I think it's quite centralized in the sense that a few KOLs can influence quite heavily. Bitcoin is is much more decentralized. But then Bitcoin gets into a lot of issues with different forks, different fights. No one listens to anybody else. So decentralization has some costs. Let me see. All right, one US trading pair. Again, that's a listing question. Bull run with the launch of Bucket. I don't know. I think any number of things can trigger a bull run. We'll see. Can we save chats and set them as we set them in the near future? Okay, I think that's a question from Tron Mike 83. Can we save chats as we set them in the near future? Can you add lines and settings, maybe FIB? I think we have Fibonacci lines already, depending on which client you're using. So if you're using the mobile one, then you don't. But if you're using the web or the PC client one, you do get them. I think we're going to continue to add more features. Later on, we will. I think there's a limited number of settings you can save each time right now. So hopefully in the future, we will be able to support that. So from N Motion Travel, CZ, shout out from Portland, Oregon. Glad to be here. Thanks, man. Will there be more XRP quote pairs? So I mean the XRP. So we already added XRP as a base currency. So in the future we will look to add more quote pairs. But we want to make sure that every pair we add have decent liquidity. So we got to be careful that we don't over add number of pairs. So many exchanges have a large number of pairs, but then it is actually not user friendly because you have to discover liquidity at different places, at different trading symbols, and that's not very good. From George Estifino, you answered 2 of my questions already. Thanks, buddy. All right, thanks, man. Let's see. Wow, a lot of. Do I have any plans on adding Dogecoin? I actually don't think Dogecoin have applied for listing, and I don't think Dogecoin is one of those coins I don't see a lot of active development. I normally don't comment on coins, but Dogecoin is one of those funny ones. let's see. Do you have an estimate on Binance DEX? The testnet is going to be out in a week or so. So, hold on, what's going on? Oops, I think I tapped. When I was looking for the questions, I tapped the screen, and it was showing the screen holder. Will there be a transcript from this chat? I'm not sure. I think this chat will be viewable even afterwards, I think. Does the U.S.-China treaty affect blockchain crypto? That's a tough one. I don't think it does. I don't think it says anything in there about... again, I'm not a politician, so I don't really know all the details of that. Okay, video's gone off. It's back now. What is your opinion? What is your opinion on the IMF utilizing a cryptocurrency? I think anybody utilizing a cryptocurrency is good for our industry. So that's good. Will STO come to Binance from Digital Tech News? I think basically we're waiting for other people, mostly lawyers, to figure out how STOs work and what we can do in different parts of the world, in different countries on STOs. And once people figure out how that works, and we're definitely looking to support STOs. Let me see. Who inspires you? There's a lot of guys who inspire me. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of biographies on other people. I would not, there's too long a list of names. I don't want to just randomly pick three and being understood the wrong way. Any insight on where you stand with US? I think basically so we want to be fully compliant in every country, and so many people misunderstand Binance, and we are actually the most compliant exchange in terms of countries with approvals. So I think somebody did a research recently. We actually have more countries approving of Binance, but many of those countries are smaller. So, but we are a fully compliant exchange. Let me see. The EOS project wants airdrop. So from Privacy Coin says our EOS project wants to airdrop tokens to Binance EOS holders from the Genesis block. Who do we contact? I think the listing form is probably the best way to do that as well. I think it sounds like you guys are a new project. So how, from I'm Crypto Hero. So how can we visit Binance offices? Is that possible? If in any case, so that's actually not possible. We don't have a fixed office. Our team's spread out into many different countries. And we also do not disclose our office address. So we have a couple of small temp offices, but for security reasons, we actually do not disclose addresses. Do you think Binance will be the leading exchange, or are decentralized exchanges more likely to be? I guess actually that question came up a few times before. So basically, I think I adopt the philosophy that we want to disrupt ourselves and not wait for other people to disrupt us. So that's why we're offering Binance.com, the centralized exchange, which is probably one of the bigger ones in the world right now. And then we're also offering the decentralized exchange, Binance DEX. We're going to let the market decide. So in the ideal world, we want to be a leading position in both places. And eventually, I personally think those two tools or platforms are geared towards different users, at least for now. So as time goes on, we will continue to improve both products, and we always let the market decide. We just give options. Let's see. Binance from Noah 18. Binance is the best. Any plans on adding TRC20 tokens that run on Tron blockchain, such as IGG? I think we are basically blockchain. So Binance.com is blockchain token agnostic. We want to add all the good projects that we can find. So we will support multiple blockchains, multiple tokens, etc. What's the difference between Binance and Binance DEX? That's from Mr. Cox. That's a fairly broad question. There's a lot of differences. But Binance.com is centralized. We hold custody of the users' funds. The platform will be faster, easier to use. But then the users rely on our security to hold their coins secure. And Binance Dex is a decentralized exchange where you hold your own private keys, you manage your own wallet. And if you lose your private keys, you lose your coins. So there's nothing we can do about it. But you know that you are holding it yourself, and it's a decentralized network of nodes. We have much less control. We are one of the developers or developer teams contributing to the technology, and there are multiple people contributing. So there's a lot of differences. Any hardware wallet that will work with Trust Wallet? I think Trust Wallet is working with a number of hardware wallet options, so that will come very soon as well. Trust Wallet and Binance integration plans. So Trust Wallet will support Binance Dex from day one. So most of the development work has already been done. Okay, I think that's most of the questions, to be honest. And it's just over 45 minutes. I do have something else later in about 15 minutes I need to prepare a little bit for. So I think I'll wrap it up over here. And thank you for watching. And I hope to do this more regularly. Now I know how the technology works. All right, thank you guys. Thank you so much. Until next time. Bye-bye.